Hi, I'm Jennifer Merritt, and today I would like to discuss with you about Russian paddle combs. We found them to be very expensive, so we made our own. Normally, Russian paddle combs only have one set of tines. We made two on ours with, as you can see, this hole right here is our stabilizer hole in which it rests on. This right here is where we put the Russian paddle comb onto, and it stabilizes on this pole, and you sit on this board right here. So as I can show you here, is you just put that on the chair, you just sit down on it, and then you just put the paddle combs on like so. And there you go. It's ready to be loaded up and spun off of. As you can see, I have some lovely Jacobs fleece. I'm going to show you how to load the paddle combs here. Sometimes, most of the time, here's kind of a nice staple lock. You could put it directly on like so, and so hardly anything is back here. Here's another kind of an example. You just push it right down. When you load it, you don't really want a lot of fiber back here because it'll end up being wasted. So I'm going to swivel this back towards me. And my Jacobs fleece is washed. It's from a raw. It's raw. It's not anything. You really can't see the tips or anything on it. So you just find an edge as best you can and just put it on and load it on. And yeah, just push it down and kind of give it a little pull out. It's not difficult or hard, and I'm not loading it up in any order because I want a gray colored yarn, and so therefore I don't really have any particular order. Kind of see this way. Now I just push it down and out. You know, down and out. One more time here. Down and out. How you use paddle combs is different than you would use regular combs. You do not, when you do combs, you do this way or this way first, and then you kind of switch it up and down. But with paddle combs, you only really go one direction. You go straight down, and then you see you get this on top as they go down over the top onto these tines here, and then you just go down and out and down and out. Okay, let's switch it and try the other one. You don't have to switch it, but I don't mind doing it that way. I want to make sure I get the top of it up here on and give it a nice pull. See how easy that is? You just, there. As you can see, it's just so lovely. You can see how nice and combed that is, and you can easily pick out these nups that you just don't want in in this top here kind of thing. See, you don't want that. You can see them, and it's just so easy to pick out. And and the hay as well, if you've got vegetable matter in there. So, yeah. Yeah, so anyway, now it's ready to spin up. Now I kind of want to card some of this jagged fleece up just to kind of give you an idea of the differences in it versus the combs really quick. This wool, of course, is got hay and stuff in it, and you just load it up, you know, just kind of just load it up, and then I'll just do a little bit here. Then we just take it and we just start at the bottom, and then you work in the middle, and then you work to the top, and then you just kind of brush down. The reasons why I like using the combs more than I do, you know, carding, is because, let me take that off, there we go, is because, you know, in carding, see, I just did that, and you can see where the nups are beginning to form right on those edges right there. And what happens, it gets so tangled up into this card that you really can't, unless I pick it out right here, and then I might end up losing more than I want, and then I have to pull it out, get rid of it there. Whereas with these combs, most of those nups will be back here, or you'll see it right out in front, just like I showed you and picking them out. And so when I card it, I mean here's a few right there, and that's like way down in these tines here. And I don't know, I particularly don't like that. I mean, here's some right here. And what happens is that when you make your rolag, it's just all that right there is just, what a pain. You have to kind of get it. Maybe you flick them out, or you try to flick them out before you put them on the cards, but yeah, even right here, it's just to me is a little frustrating. I'm going to take it up and just roll it. See, you can already see right here and here how it's going to have those nips and noils in it. Maybe even a few up in there. Definitely one right there. And that to me is time consuming because I want it to be, and see, there they are. They're all right here. And I'm pulling it, and I'm ending up pulling that with it as I'm rolling it up to do a woolen spun yarn. And that to me is a little frustrating when I want a really nice yarn thread. Okay, and I roll it up. And if you look, I don't know, it doesn't really show it very well. Let me see if I can get it so you can see it. When you roll it up, it's makes these air pockets. It's like a jelly roll. Here we go, and then I kind of roll it up. I don't know if you can see that really well, but it's rolled up like a jelly roll is what the rolag is. And when you spin it, when you pull it like this, and in that jelly roll, in those little, in that separation between the long strands is the air pockets that you want. When you pull it, it has air pockets in there, in here, and when it twists, it keeps those air pockets in there, and it creates a wonderful woolen yarn. And that is what the air pockets create, warmth for sweaters or in your webbed in spin and on your loom. So now if I was to do worsted yarn, I would just off the top, see, this looks so very thick, it's got multiple layers of wool onto there. If I was to do worsted, I would just pull from the top, not down here, but off of the top, and then it would twist, and then I would pull off of the top like that, and so there's straight lines to make worsted yarn. you know, for socks or, you know, your warp, and not down here. And then I would pull it across as I move across and spin it, and then I would come back. Now if I was doing it something on like this, you know, if I was to do it on my cards, I'd probably just brush it and then pull it off and spin it like that if I wanted to, or diz it, which is you have a diz and you just feed it through it, and it's basically the same thing. But in this instance, we're going to spin directly off of the Russian paddle combs. Now, now as I said before, this is a woolen off of the cards for woolen yarn. If you're going to do woolen off of the combs, instead of with worsted, you know, just the top, you actually get all of this together, and when you pull it, it creates, oh, see, there's a nut, and I can just pull it out. Look at that. And I didn't pull out a lot of strands. Whoops, except for that. I'll just add it back in. See how there is this hole right here or a hole right in there? It's a triangle, the point and then the two angles coming up to the point. That is, with the air pocket right there, is a woolen spun, the same as this. It creates a woolen yarn when it's twisted, because all that air pocket is spun up into that yarn in here. Now it's time to spin and create. I'll show both woolen and worsted off of my spinning. Let's do worsted first. So we're only going to concentrate up top here, okay, and not so much on the bottom. And I just lay it on there as it's twisting and building twists. It's just going to grab that wool. See? Okay, now we're just, it's just the strands, and I can bring it over and just hook it in there, and I just go nice and slow. It's just so easy, and just make sure it's just the top and not any triangle, and just see, yeah, see how flat and nice that is? Just so easy. And I'm just working my way around my paddle combs. I just swivel it closer to me as I work around. Now I'm going to show you woolen. Get the spinning wheel going again. I'm just going to start and work my way around. I'm going to place it right here, and I'm going to grab all of it. Okay. There's a twist on. Okay. So I'm grabbing all of it. It's got that nice air pocket in there, and I'm pulling out to the staple length that it is, and I can draw, even I can bring some of that up there. See that nice open triangle there? And I just, oops, there's a piece of hay. There we go. And I'm grabbing all of it. To the staple, and there you go. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to spin here and get all the way to the end, so you can kind of what happens when you get to the end of your yarn. See, as you notice, this gets smaller and smaller. How you know when to stop is when you start seeing all the knolls come from here. See, here's one. You can kind of see it right there, and you're getting kind of close to the end. You could see it's getting all kinds. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you really don't want that. So then you know that you are near the end of the use. So I'll just take that off, and you can see as I take it off, like the hay, and here's a good example. Here's a knot there. It's not really, it's short. It's not really long fiber. It's just pieces, bits and pieces that are just, and hay, and it's all right here. Whereas in my cards, it was all mixed. I hope you enjoyed this introduction to Russian paddle combs. So I thank you for your time. Thank you.